Hello everyone and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. I'm Nick Yakabuchi and our next review is the romantic comedy Going the Distance. This film opened in wide release on Friday, September 3rd, 2010, and it stars real-life on-again, off-again couple Drew Barrymore and Justin Long. Joining them on screen in this adventure is Charlie Day, Jason Sudeikis, Ron Livingston, and one of my all-time favorite actresses going all the way back to Married with Children, and that would be Christina Applegate. Going the Distance comes to us from director Nanette Bernstein, somewhat of a departure from the person responsible for bringing us the wonderful documentaries On the Ropes from the beginning of the decade, and The Kid Stays in the Picture about legendary Hollywood producer Robert Evans from the year 2002. She has now dropped the documentary cameras in favor of a Hollywood romance starring a real-life Hollywood romance. Our story opens in the Big Apple, telling us of Garrett and Aaron. Justin Long's Garrett is newly single and out and about bar hopping with his buddies when he casually bumps into Drew Barrymore's Aaron while playing the video game Centipede. Her wry humor and his boyish vulnerability seem to make quite a connection, and they soon end up back at Garrett's apartment. Their night then begins with a bong and ends with a bang, which in turn brings them to breakfast the next day. Garrett works in the music business as a scout and somewhat promoter, and Aaron will be leaving in just 6 weeks to return to San Francisco to finish her last year of grad school and then start a career as a journalist. They begin to see each other regularly and never think too much about the 6-week deadline until it shortly concludes. It is only at this point that they both realize how much they truly care for each other and decide to enter into the dreaded long-distance relationship. Now, to help them through this difficult time of being apart are Garrett's roommate Dan and his close friend Box, and their support of Aaron's sister and her family are there for her as well. Christina Applegate plays Aaron's sister Corinne that has quite a fetish for germs, and Charlie Day as Garrett's roommate Dan is hilarious down to his open door policy while using the bathroom. They are there to help, but it is only the fact that our leads can see each other once a weekend every few months that really seems to cure anything. The film then plays back and forth the trials and tribulations of living through a long-distance relationship, all the while bringing with it a slew of humor and enough heart to make what I call a very credible film. Right off, I thought that this was just another PG-13 romantic comedy in the style of Music and Lyrics or Never Been Kissed, and I couldn't have been more pleasantly incorrect or shocked while watching Going the Distance. Not only is this film rated R, people, it is really rated R, and it doesn't hold back by any means on any level to deliver the jokes. It isn't as good as, say, There's Something About Mary, but it is a very solid comedy all its own. Now, there is a scene in the film involving Justin Long in a tanning booth that really felt like a ripoff of Ross from a Friends episode, and there's also a scene with Drew Barrymore where she gets so drunk and so belligerent you wonder how this part of the movie ever even made the final cut. And some other jokes really didn't work, like the cliche phone sex thing. On a whole, however, this was a very fun and entertaining feature filled with very big laughs and people that you care for, and it actually reminded me very much of when I first began watching TV's Sex and the City with its shockingly funny dialogue and situations. Now, is this a great film? You know, the answer to that question is no, but I loved getting to know this couple, and I was glad that I got to know them. By the end of this film, I came to realize that I like Aaron and Garrett, and I believe that you could tell that they are a real-life couple because I think that translated to the big screen. Also, the underlying message to always chase your dreams and never give up on something that you truly desire is always welcome to any story. At 100 minutes, Going the Distance was a laugh-out-loud surprise that I would have never picked to go see before I started to review films, and is a welcomed one now that I have. This was a great time at the theater, and I would encourage any girls to bring your boyfriends because I think this is without question raunchy enough for them to be thoroughly pleased. It occurred to me that whenever I see a film with Drew Barrymore, I either like it immensely or I despise it completely, and I couldn't have been happier when I left the multiplex. You know, I'm still teetering between 3 stars and 3.5 stars, and maybe I'm going to get beat up for this one for being too gentle, but I'm going to say 3.5 stars because I laughed out loud so much and I had such a good time with this. And remember, people, I'm not always right, only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.